Welcome to the world of Randy Pobst. I'm in Road Atlanta. I'm behind the ACI Motorsports shop run by Kurt Swearingen, great guy. He's from Chattanooga, and he's opened up a shop here at Road Atlanta years ago. And he and the guys have been helping me out, like Alex and Jimmy, who run the shop. And I'm here doing a rescue. They have been so good, letting me store a treasure here, because I've got 4 projects going, 4 race car projects, and they're scattered around all over, and I'm excited because I'm making progress on one of them. Let me show you what I got. Here's my pickup truck, and in the back of it, we got the engine that was in this rescue project, and we got a transmission here. Anybody recognize that? What do we got there? What do we got there? See the world's most diabolical distributor behind the water pump? If you're a Chevy guy, you know what that is. That's a LT, and you've got to remove most of the front of the engine to work on the distributor cap. It's called OptiSpark, and they fail sometimes. But if they don't fail, they're just great, right? Well, this engine, what came with an LT V8? I think it's an LT1. Well, let's swing around over here, folks. Under the cover, this is the great reveal. This cover's been on the car for 2 or 3 years. Ooh, what is that? What is that? Guess what? I was racing this car the last time it was on track with my friend Ann Keller. Ann has been supplying cars projects to me for years. I think this is number 4. You see what we got here? Firebird. It's about a 94 Trans Am. And Ann and her boyfriend Bernie were running this car with the theme of grumpy old men and a nurse, because Ann's a nurse. I was one of the grumpy old men. 12 years ago, I wasn't that old, but they were. And in memory of Kent Keller, Kent was Ann's husband. He passed away. He was a car hoarder, which is why I get so connected with Ann for cool cars. He would buy a car, race it 4 times, park it in a trailer, and leave it. And I've already gotten a couple cars that way, including that blue Firebird you might have seen. It was a World Challenge GT car. And I got my eye on another one that's in the back of Ann's shop at her place. And this Firebird was a Lemons car, 24 hours of Lemons. The idea is they're $500 and you put a roll cage in them. Well, folks, they're not $500, but they are way cheaper than any other kind of racing. And you can get in one and go race today. You don't need schools, licenses, anything. You do need to buy, I think you got to buy a membership with Lemons. And then you just got to be careful. And you know what? You'd think that wouldn't work. You'd think it'd be crazy, and sometimes it is. But most of the people who have never raced before, who get in a Lemons race, are careful. And they're going so slow that you can go around them. If you're doing that, there's one rule I want you to follow, and that is, don't get out of the way. That doesn't make sense, right? But by the time you notice a car coming up on you, and you decide, oh, I've got to get out of his way, guess what? That guy decided a long time ago where he was going. And you're going to move in the way, not out of the way. So they call it hold your line. It means don't pull out of the way. Also, number 2, if you're coming up to a corner, look in your mirrors. If you see cars coming by you, don't pull in the way either. Just kind of go a little wide, leave a lane or 2. The fast guys will go right by you, because believe me, Lemons has some very good drivers and some pretty darn fast cars, like, I don't know, me. Although I'm not afraid to drive the junky ones. The Firebird is really a pretty fast Lemons car. It was, but it blew a head gasket. I bought it. Ann and Bernie gave me the deal of the century, gave me an engine to go with it and everything. They said, if you buy the engine, we'll give you the car. How about that? And it now resides behind ACI Motorsports, behind Road Atlanta. And I'm excited because I was shooting a video for 812 Wheels, super high premium brand. And the guy I was shooting with, Mark Nunnally, does video work, but he also is a car crazy, and he's got a garage full of Corvettes. And guess what? He rebuilds T56 trannies, which is, I think, what this car has. And that's one of the things you saw in the back of that pickup truck. Let's take a quick look at that. Right there, a T56. And in the race, it was working, but it wasn't great, and it's old. And I figure if I'm going to put it in the car, I better have it in decent shape. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time. And so Mark rebuilds those. And so he's going to rebuild that tranny. We're taking it over there today, not far from Road Atlanta. And my buddy Nathan Amaral, captain in the Air Force, flying tankers, Nathan built the Randit Trans Am for me from end to end. Nathan refreshed the spare engine that we bought. He did a Nate Amaral rebuild on it, and the engine is ready to go. Transmission's going to be rebuilt and ready to go. Mark Nunnally gave me some C5 Corvette front brakes. We're going to get them on here because that's one thing the Firebird really needs is more brake. It's not exactly light. And after sitting here sleeping, you can tell it's been a long time. There's actually hope to get this baby back on track. I was driving it in the last race it ran. I mentioned it had a blown head gasket, and it's just been sort of waiting ever since. The engine you see is the engine that was in it. That one blew a head gasket, stock original engine, and it does look like it had a pulley on it though. It had some cheaty parts. That's what they call them in Lemons. If you put a smaller pulley here that doesn't turn the accessories as fast, and it saves you a lot of power. That's just a waste. Because think about it, these accessories have got to turn fast enough to work at idle. Well, are you idling at the racetrack? Well, in the Lemons car, sometimes you are. But no, you got the revs up. And so you put a smaller pulley on, it saves a lot of drag on everything, and you have more power for free. It's great. So here's the Firebird. In memory of Kent Keller, Ann's husband, who was a car hoarder. When he passed away, they had 116 cars on their property. He had gotten into buying wrecked Camaros and full-size station wagons. I don't know. What do you say? Different strokes for different folks. I understand him, though, because I've got that hoarder instinct, too. Witness one of my 4 race car projects I've got going right now. None of them are getting done. Yeah, they are. They're getting done. And so, Firebird project is going to come out of ACI soon. I found a shop that's going to work on the car and get that Nate Amaral rebuilt engine and that Mark Nunnally rebuilt transmission back into this here Firebird. Maybe fix a little bit of the wiring, put the brakes on it, and hit the track. So I'm excited. 4 grumpy old men and a nurse will be racing again. Although I'm thinking about taking spray cans and just making it all flat black or flat green or something. I sort of like flat green with a U.S. Air Force insignia from World War II. That would be kind of cool. It's all American. We'll put a big flag on it. You know, we can do whatever we want. Yeah, it's a Smokey and the Bandit T-top. Not ideal, but when you got what you got, you go racing Lemons. It doesn't have to be ideal. So I'm excited. We'll keep you posted. I'm hoping this thing is running in about 3 months. Of course, that reminds me of a really good internet joke I just saw about Project Cars Anonymous. Have you seen that one? Look for it on Instagram. The guy's hilarious. He's got a pointer. He says, "Welcome everybody to another meeting of Project Cars Anonymous." He says, "We're going to work on getting from delusion to reality. My delusion is that this Firebird will be running in 3 months. The reality, maybe it'll be another year, but the happy, successful part is we're making progress. We're going to go see Mark. We're going to drop off that tranny. We're going to try to squeeze that spare engine into my shed behind the lawnmower. And I told the ACI guys we're going to get this car out of here in 2 months. So let's see. Actually, my normal strategy, which is why these projects last so long, is to try to find some bright-eyed, bushy-tailed young person who wants to go racing worse than anything, like me when I was 19 or 20 years old. Well, like me now. And get them to work on the car in return for racing it, right? Well, I've already had, I think, 3 people on this car. And they're young and their lives change and they get a new job and they can't get it done. So I'm going to actually pay somebody. And that hurts. But you know what? It gets it done. And this Firebird really doesn't need that much work. It's already a race car. So stay tuned. Thanks for coming along on the journey.